Hello, hello. We're back again for another episode of the podcast, the National German Honor Society podcast. And today I got Thomas and Ryan with me.
Yo,
Yo.
Yep. And so this is our first episode since the new school year started, the new year in general, now that I think about it. And I wanted to ask you guys, how has it been going so far?
pretty mid.
And I gotta agree. Like the work hasn't been too bad, but just like the vibe is just gone.
I mean,
Like the energy.
second semester senior year is gonna be like that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it really hasn't been much different. Let's be honest. I mean, at least for me, but same old schedule.
So that energy, do you think it's going to come back, or is it just going to, like, everybody's going to settle into it?
It's gonna come back after graduation, probably.
Yeah. I think probably by when we have a spring senior breakfast or whatever, I think that's like gonna be like the marker of the end times, you know?
It's the end game now.
Yeah.
So weird to think about. Almost done with this.
Wow. Yeah.
I still remember the first day of school.
You do? I don't.
I do not.
No, I remember it just because like it was like the first time in my life where my life I was actually somewhat hard. So it was a little turning point. Before then, my life was pretty easy. Like, really had nothing to do. But after GSMST, then, like, I had to actually do some work, which definitely was beneficial.
Yeah, you got to get that character development going.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just like, I wouldn't say trauma, but like, just a shift. You saw to just remember it. I remember in first period watching the news the first time. I was like, can I just skip the next 4 years of my life? It's like, looking back, I definitely would not want to have done that. So, be careful what you wish for.
I was I remember during that time I was just like doubting everything. So like I knew like COVID like was a thing, but I was like, nah, it's gonna be like sorry, it's gonna like die out in a few weeks or a few months. And then the year after that, I predicted that Putin wasn't gonna invade Ukraine because he's not stupid enough to do that. And both these predictions were in February. And what do you know?
The start of COVID was interesting actually, because
Yeah,
I was dumb and I thought it was just gonna be like I said it's like no worse than the flu. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I think like a lot of people are in the same boat. I was like it's not gonna be that bad. But then March hits and then we don't go to school for another year. It's like well that was
A
pretty
year and
long.
a half.
I mean, to be honest, the end of ninth grade wasn't too bad, but 10th grade was kind of like so it was so dead
I mean I was in
because like
person and
oh,
whew, yeah it was pretty dead.
yeah,
I was just you go in the hallways and there's like maybe 5 people at most you see walking from class to
yeah,
class. Like there was this when I was going from biology to engineering, I literally saw no one. Zero people. It's crazy. I
All
don't
of that
know.
by go ahead, sorry.
I don't know if I prefer that over this because like now everything's crowded, but like you get to see more people, so it's like more socialization, but like it's just more crowded. I don't know.
yeah,
There's definitely something to enjoy about 10th grade if you're in person.
Bio and engineering, at least for me, those classes specifically, they almost like they don't feel like they exist because they not only were classes that me and Ryan took digitally, but they changed a lot how they did them over the years.
yeah, and especially I think online because before the pandemic they're like very lab based. I think even now they're still quite like lab based, but bio especially we're I don't even all I remember is just like doing like one of Miss Berry's lecture, just like playing Minecraft. Because you got to get that multitasking in, and
I think
I work much more efficiently that way. But engineering, that was painful. Doing
engineering was
having to do stuff at home, painful.
I I really don't like engineering. It felt like a waste basically. It's just I don't know what I'm doing
honestly
here.
every time I went to engineering class, it was a battle to stay awake. Like, and I did not win every battle. Let's just say that. Like, I probably fell asleep a few times. There's a subst
It's
one.
the effort that
Yeah.
counts.
One day there's a sub student that's like wake up, like just like snapped her fingers across my face, like oh my lord, and it's like she gave me some candy though, so which is good.
Who is your teacher?
Well, gee.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I had Dr. Stam, so it's like pretty easy.
I mean I don't even know how to describe LG.
If I recall, one of his biggest issues, well, I call it an issue, just character traits, was that he would okay, so the way his class was something structured is that he would give you an assignment, like he would explain the assignment, then he kind of send you off so you can go figure it out. However, his explanation of the assignment would kind of take a little bit extra, a little bit too long, just a little bit too long. Yeah,
Yeah, people didn't understand, like didn't really have the energy to
you,
go through it.
you can turn this into a single paragraph of directions and call it good. You don't have to turn into a 20-minute lecture about
And there's so many breakout
nothing.
rooms. I hated the breakout rooms in engineering. It's like, okay, guys, describe what your challenges were. It's like, I don't want to talk.
Breakout rooms are
So
horrific.
terrible, man.
Ge- German breakout rooms was so sad. Like, be that be like 5 minutes. Like, so like I'd be like I speak for like half a minute, and then there'd be just silence.
I feel that's just a lot of break rooms in general. Just like
That's true.
one person talking and then like, cool.
Yeah.
And then it just gets so much harder when you're doing their language. It's like, yeah, the wie geht's,
Yeah.
and then people answer the wie
Vegans.
geht's with like gut and like nothing
Yeah.
else, and like
Especially since
it's just like,
German
okay,
too.
sure,
So like we're
yeah.
kind of crap.
It's
We
like,
still are.
Uh,
I mean, yeah.
that's true. But like we can say more than gut. We can say gut genug.
Wie geht's? Es geht.
Es geht echt.
Es geht ist 100% jeden Tag.
Jeden Tag.
Kein Spaß, kein Aktivitäten.
Spaß, Konnektivität und
Nur
GSMST
Grind.
hier. It's nur great jeden Tag.
Nur Ingenieur sein. Bekommen. Nicht bekommen. What is to become? What's the word to become?
To become, I think it's becoming.
No,
I
that's
mean,
to
I
like
could just
What
look
is
it up
it?
on Lingui right now, but
What
becommen
is
I'll
it
is
like
just do that.
to
weird sign?
is to get.
Like weird sign? The future tense of sein, weird
Oh
I
sign?
mean,
yeah,
we're
an
design.
engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah, an engineer
Yeah.
werden. Werden an
Yep.
Engineer sein. Yeah, okay.
Ich werde ein Engineer sein,
But
ja.
like, how do you say like to be an engineer? Ein
Uh,
Engineer sein. Okay, never mind. I'm just
so
kidding.
yeah, that would be correct. Like because just like to be, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're using the participle, whatever. So design.
Hmm. Okay.
Ryan, you went to GHP for German, right?
Yeah.
Do you happen to know if they distinguish between to be and to become?
I don't. I mean, yeah, we did because like to become is future tense and to be is present tense.
Hmm.
So like, and then like to be in the future, it's kind of. I think it's basically the same as to become. So we just do like a verb and Sein and then Sein. So it
Okay,
was
that's
really like really chill. It's like kind of we spoke more Deutschlich than Deutsch, but it was good. It was a good time. We got to watch some German movies, create some board games.
Did you watch Downfall?
No, we watched Metropolis.
I don't know what that is.
That it's like the super old German movie. It's like
Mm. There
I
was
don't know
a
Downfall is either.
what is that?
I don't know what Downfall is or Metropolis.
Downfall is about Hitler's downfall, and it's in
Oh,
German. I'm pretty sure. It's like 1944 afterwards, and then
uh,
yeah, that
Metropolis
stuff.
was like this one movie which was like it was made by this dude. I think it's now considered classic, but like it like uh had I love Wikipedia.
You're going in and out, like the audio clarity is going in and out. So just repeat what you said, like the past 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, so Metropolis was this movie made by this dude Fritz Lang, and apparently had a budget estimated to like $22 million, but it made $1 million in box office. And this was in 1927.
Whew. Like, is that 1927 movie? Or is that
No, and
fiction?
today money.
Oh, okay. That's
But
a
like now it's considered classic, like top film of all time, peak, whatever.
is it good?
It was interesting to say the least.
So was it good?
Personally, I think it's actually kind of mid.
Yeah, that's okay. That's probably
It
why.
had a really cool like set design though, that's for sure.
Mm.
I
What was
saw
it
Puss
about?
in Boots too. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
you know, go ahead.
I was just saying that I saw Puss in Boots: The Last Wish recently, and I really enjoyed that. Honestly, I felt like
The
the
peak.
full
That's
anime
peak.
battle.
That's
Oh
peak.
yeah.
Bro, my friend wanted to go see that, but like he made us go see Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I was like, I'm not wasting my money on another kids film you want to see, so I didn't go.
Puss in Boots is up there. It's really really good.
Mm.
Well, I don't
Like
understand how they managed to get away with some of the things they got away with in that film. Like something that they call burrito,
yeah, no, they had a lot of Spanish in it.
and also the
Yeah, but
set, the bleeps too. Like if you were older than like 3 years old, you could fill in the lines.
What was it? Like PG-13 or something?
I think it was like PG-13, but if you were like,
It's a
it's
P.
enjoyable for
The
every
movie
audience.
itself is PG, but like
Oh,
they like did some like censoring and like
is
I
there like
think
some deep
yeah
humor? Some like things only adults would understand?
Yeah, more or less. But that wasn't really hard ingrained. My favorite
yeah
part of it is just that it's kind of like it kind of like speed into exposition in a good way. You just kind of saw things happen. You're like, well, it's a fairy tale. Let's keep going.
Mm.
yeah.
Because like
And
a
it
lot of the
also yeah
some of the main villains were a guy called Jack Horner, who's from an old um nursery rhyme. That's what it was. Nursery rhyme that nobody really knows or cares about. He's just a villain that I kind of like, to be
yeah.
honest.
He's just like such
There's
a
also
he's such a bad person that it's fun. He's it's like it's funny. Like wait, I don't like. I understand. Sometimes you need like the morally gray characters, but also you need the comically evil to the point of like,
no
oh
return.
my god, exactly.
I
Yeah,
mean,
like
well, if
this.
it's an anime, then yeah, but like if it's
It's
real
like,
world, then
Oh
very
no,
little is
no.
gray. Very little is black and white in the real.
but I mean, this guy, he's morally black. This guy is he's evil. He knows he's evil, and he gets away with it because it's funny.
Yeah, he's like embodiment of capitalism type beat.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is it like the Lorax?
No,
Oh.
because it's funny.
Eh, I should have seen it. Yeah, okay. Oh well.
And there's a lot of good movies coming at this time.
Yeah,
Have you all seen
Avatar.
Avatar 2?
Yeah, I was about
no,
to talk
I
about
have
it.
not.
I haven't either. I'm in the boat
It
It's
soon.
like it's the quietest 2 billion I've ever seen. Like
Hmm.
I always made 2 billion box office. I'm like,
I mean, it's mostly international audiences though that watch
that's
Avatar.
true.
So that's the thing. Like, I didn't even know they were making a movie until like a week before it came out.
Yeah. Like I remember Endgame, that was like a huge
Uh
event.
huh.
And then I got spoiled in eighth grade science.
Hmm. I
And then I was
remember.
like, because I was like going to go on like the opening Saturday. Then like he went, a guy who went to on Thursday, like the preview night, and then spoiled it.
Oh man,
it's
that's
like
what capital punishment is for.
so Avatar 2. I seen it, and it's not bad. But after watching Puss in Boots, it's like solid mid. Like
And
it was an enjoyable 3 hours. It's a very long movie. It's 3 hours, but it really does take you through the entire story. It doesn't skip any elements. There's just a couple plot holes in it. It's like you gotta wonder why they did some things.
I heard the graphics are like really good for Avatar 2.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, it's real eye candy. That's probably the best part about it. But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, if you don't see it, then you won't really be missing out on some crazy amount. Funnily enough, I never actually saw Endgame, and I don't think I will.
I haven't actually seen it
Yeah.
either.
I saw it like I remember like back in the moment it was like peak, but now like if I go on Disney Plus rewatch, I'm like I'm gonna watch like 5 minutes, the like 5 minutes of it, and like skip like not watch the rest of it
I mean, I just know the plot,
because
but that's about it.
yeah, you're not really missing out much. Like
Hmm. I just got
Marvel
tired of that
nowadays,
of Marvel films.
Oh,
yeah,
they're all the same at the end of the
Uh-huh.
day.
The last one I watched in
like
theater was. I mean, the last one I watched was Spider-Man No Way Home, but like before then, the last one would be Infinity War. So,
Infinity War was fun.
uh-huh.
The newer Spider-Man ones I kind of like more because,
Mhm.
so hear me out, hear me out. A lot of the Marvel movies, what they're supposed to be is a continuation of the comic book series, and they
Hmm.
are. They're fairly faithful. It's just that adapting comic books into movies isn't it's not a perfect shift. It takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to
Yeah.
do properly, and it's very rarely done properly. But with the Spider-Man movies, the way that they're animated really kind of it puts that comics strip element back into it, and it makes it really good in comparison. Like it's a lot more identical and a lot more ideal, and it
Are
kind
you talking
of
about the animated series?
yeah. Well, not the series, but like the animated movies, Spider-Man
Mm.
ones.
Okay. I haven't seen any of those. I remember it was big, but I don't know. I just never. I don't really watch a lot of movies. I only really
Yeah.
watch like. What do I watch? I watch a couple movies, but I watch mainly like shows or whatever.
Mhm.
The Spider-Man ones, I'm pretty sure they're some of the best that Marvel's come out with in a while.
Yeah,
But
I do like Spider-Man. I watched No Way Home is pretty good.
Yeah. Like I think the last one I watched was like a huge. I was like, it's like the last like Marvel film I was like actually excited about. Like it was Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I was
Mm.
excited because I like the multiverse and that stuff from the comics. The way they adapted it in there was horrific. Like they how they depicted the Illuminati like the Marvel Illuminati is like a group of like super powerful like guys in Marvel comics. But then like in the film
oh,
it's
he
like
cut
this
out.
like
Yeah, your audio is
oh
going down. I just say what you said in the past 5 seconds.
okay. Yeah, so I think the Marvel Illuminati is just a group of super overpowered guys who try to maintain the order of the universe, like the real Illuminati. But but
Let's get into that. Does Illuminati
but
exist?
um, how they depicted them in the film was like they nerfed them so bad. It hurt my soul,
Mm.
and afterward I was just bummed out
You have real world experience of how powerful they are?
in my
So
heart.
I saw that movie too. To be honest, these are some of the only movies I've really seen. I really don't watch that many movies. But
Mhm.
um, the Illuminati, they were like there is the main villain just came by and kind of crushed them, and we don't even know how strong they're
Yeah,
supposed to be in the first place. So it just kind of, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to tell you about how strong the main villain was, but at the same time, you just kind
yeah.
of, uh,
I mean, money only gets you so
Because
far.
because I remember, I think they try to adapt a House of M, which is one of the Marvel Comics storylines. It's pretty well received, and like where Scarlet Witch is like super overpowered, but even then, she's not like comically overpowered to that extent, where she defeats Professor X in his mind.
yeah,
Like,
she
how
like
do you do
invades his
that?
mind and like kills him. It was insane. I just kind of sat there like, this is a movie. This is one of the movies of all time.
True.
Wait, so
Employing people
Scarlet
enjoyed
Witch
it.
killed the dude? What dude? I just forgot.
Dr. X, he's the guy from
X-Men?
yeah,
Yeah.
X-Men, the guy
Oh, I thought that was a
uh
different franchise. I was about to say like Professor X. Is like, no, that's not. It's like DC or whatever. But no, I don't even know they were combined, connected.
it's all Marvel, so and besides, there's a
Yeah.
multiverse, whatever. This is what I'm talking about. Like, if it's a comic book, this would be amazing. It'll
Mhm.
all make sense because it's a comic book. You can do whatever
Yeah.
you want, but it was just a movie.
How do you beat Professor X in his mind? Isn't that like this entire thing?
That's exactly what I always
Yeah.
say. The movie just kind of
Like
did it, and I was like, yeah, damn.
They,
and like
it's like another
it
Captain
was just
Marvel.
it was just like how like she just like one shot like Star would just one shot all of those Illuminati members. That would not have happened like at all. And also personally, if I was there, I would not let that happen either.
That's disrespectful, honestly. Yeah, I do agree. Personally, I wouldn't let that happen. I wouldn't let that slide.
No.
You just gotta find yourself, man. But that's the thing with like a lot of Marvel films. Like they make to get like the attention going, to make the villain so strong, but then to have to compensate, they have to make the hero so much stronger. It's like the
Yeah.
thing of Captain Marvel. Like, how do you even beat Captain Marvel? Like, she's just like basically a god.
Yeah. I think after Thanos, that's like I think he's like the peak of like MCU villains. After that, It's like, where do we go from here? Like,
Yeah.
he has the Infinity Stones. What are you gonna do next? Like Ant Man fighting against some bacteria or something.
That'd actually be cool. I'd like that.
Oh,
I
but
think
actually,
so.
I was looking
That'd
at
be
that.
funny, actually.
You're referring to the new Ant-Man movie where he goes like in a tiny universe, right?
I didn't watch it, but and I don't think that's even close to the plot. But like, yeah, that's like the one I have in mind.
Okay, so hear me out. I'm kind of interested in that because it's like it feels like they can do more with it. They're not
Hmm.
really constrained by usual boundaries. They can just kind of make up whatever they want and it'll be fine.
Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp bro, sleep. I was asleep in that movie.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know why
think
they have
Ant-Man in
three
general is
Ant-Man
a
movies.
sleeper.
That's true.
Because I think like it's in the same genre as Guardians of the Galaxy, so people always talk about that when they're like talking about maybe you like it, but Ant-Man itself was pretty. I think was pretty good. One of the top ones. Because like at the end of the day, movies are supposed to entertain, and like I found it pretty entertaining both times.
Hmm.
For Ant-Man 1 and 2. I haven't seen a new one though.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should. I've seen a lot of movies lately, and my dad's been giving me, he's been talking about it. He's been kind of mad about me, at me out over it because he thinks I'm like wasting money. But I'm sorry, I'm a senior using my money for once. Sorry, that's a side rant.
I mean, that's
Um,
facts.
if you're going with friends, it can be a lot of fun.
Hmm.
I mean, when I went out to see, what was it, Megan. So I saw Avatar 2 about 2 weeks ago now, and then a week ago I was planning on seeing Avatar 2 again, but with a group of friends this time, a different group of friends. The seats were completely full, so we saw Megan instead. Megan, it wasn't at all horror. It was barely like a thriller movie. But it was goofy. It was really, really goofy. Um,
I wouldn't go to a movie theater without friends. Like, I don't see the point of going alone. Just like rent it off. Like, I don't even
Like,
know.
I go with my family, so it's basically like going alone. So it's kind of sad. But
Yeah.
like, I mean, Puss in Boots was so good. I was vibing, even though it's like I didn't have like anybody to like riff off or whatever.
Hmm. I mean, the thing is, I get too loud in a movie theater, so.
so during Megan, I was an absolute menace. I was saying the shit I've been saying. The people in front of me were looking back at me like, "What? Who?" I like they were NPCs. They were NPCs.
Yeah.
But
You're built different.
the best part of it was not actually the movie. It was everything that happened except for the movie. For
Oh
example,
God.
midway through the movie, so this was at Studio Movie and Grill.
Hmm.
One of the guys that worked there, I don't know what he was on, but this man was tweaking. He came by, he just said Corona. He gave me a beer and ran away.
Did you have it?
I was really tempted to drink it honestly because I was like, this is a free beer. That's probably like $8 at this kind of movie theater. It was unopened and had a lime on top.
That
Yeah.
would have been it. Studio movie was so expensive.
It's probably
So
laced, let's be honest though. No such thing as
well,
a free lunch.
I was tempted to drink it, but then I would realize I have no idea what their paying scheme is like. I don't know if you pay like before or after, or if they collect your credit card or something. I don't know, but I just didn't want to get that heat. And besides, I'm like 18. If
Hmm.
they saw me, if they noticed I drunk it and then tried to charge me later for it and saw that I'm 18, I would have been just in deep trouble. So I asked the people next to me if
Smart
like
man.
they ordered it. They said their mom ordered. Their mom was sitting behind me, so I was like, that's whatever. It's just a beer.
Hmm.
I already got the clout. I don't need to drink it.
Got that cloud. What do you mean by that?
I was showing it off to the guys next to me, like
Ah.
to my friends that were there. They were like, it's like,
This is
yeah,
the
they kind
power
of.
of having a 21 drinking age.
No, I
This
mean
is
that kind
still
of
my
convinced
thing.
me. I could probably walk into at least one bar in like New York or anything, and nobody would ask me about my age. At
So
least one.
so dumb. I mean, let's be honest, it's more like half of them. But like, because customers are customers, and yeah, if they never ask, they aren't liable.
Yep.
But let's like,
Drinking it.
21 is so dumb, bro. Let's be honest.
Like I'm not gonna really, argue and campaign for a smaller drinking age, but it kind of feels backwards saying that people can drive at 16, have to sign up for the selective draft at 18, and can't drink until they're 21.
You can't legally drink and drive until you're 20.
I don't
I
think
don't
there's
know about
such
that
thing
one.
as
No,
legally
actually, you
drinking and
can't
driving.
legally drink and drive unless you don't get caught.
I mean, they only catch bad drinkers.
Oh my god. It reminds me of
Have
a
a good
time.
tolerance.
So I don't know how long this
Just
was,
drink
but
Red Bull.
this was probably like
True.
5, 6 years ago. But I was in a golf cart, right? It was like it's
Uh-oh.
part of like
Oh no, no.
it's not as bad as you think. I was in a golf cart, I was just driving normally. And like I was driving terribly, like just without just perfectly fine, like all senses there. I was like hitting over cones and stuff.
Oh well, yeah, that
We're
died.
back. Okay. I kinda I ran over my own headphones and unplugged them. But yeah, so but then I was getting like these drunk goggles, and I swear, when I was driving perfectly with the drunk goggles, man. It was just I was just swerving, doing the 360s, getting some drifts in. You know what I'm saying? Like just perfectly. It's almost like my mind is out of sync with my eyes, and those drunk goggles helped me.
That's your Ukrainian blood. It's awakening.
Oh God, bro. Like it's a danger to everyone for me to be sober.
The see, it's
That's
like
a
the
joke, by the way, for
activation.
legal allegiance
It's a
sensitive people.
catalyst
It's a catalyst, yes. It's a
for the
nootropic.
reaction.
It's a nootropic for me.
Like those brain gummies.
Speaking of nootropic, I'll probably get some like when I'm 18 and like when I actually get money, because you gotta invest in that mind, especially if I plan on getting hit a lot.
What's a nootropic?
It's like
It's
those dietary supplements which claim to improve your brain.
well, I mean, some of them do, but like
You usually get them at GNC
I forgot
or like an
yeah, I forget exactly what chemicals, but if I did some research, I would probably find out. But some of them do work. I think not L-carnitine, that's a pre-workout. I only know
uh,
pre-workout stuff now. I forgot all the
whey.
nootropic stuff. But uh,
Melatonin goes crazy.
melatonin's the biggest nootropic, bro.
Taking a hit when you're asleep. You I did not think of anything clever in that time frame.
I mean, when you do sleep, your mind's fully rested, so I guess it's the best nootropic. Sleep.
Yeah, it's not really.
I
There's all
remember
kinds of things
I,
that are probably healthy
rem-
in small quantities.
I remember I took like 20 milligrams of melatonin once, which is like a good bit, and I tried to fight off sleeping, so I was just like in UGA. This was in UGA. I took like some of my friends' melatonin, and I was just like, what was it, like 10 p.m. at night or something like that? I was just like working out in my dorm, trying not to fall asleep, just because I wanted to see how long it could last. And I lasted about 20 minutes because that's when it actually hits.
So it hit and you fell asleep on the ground, right?
I actually got so tired. My last few seconds, I got into my bunk bed and fell asleep. So
That's good. At least you didn't fall asleep while you're like weight
I
training.
wasn't doing a push. I wasn't. I did not fall asleep like when I was doing push-ups or anything like that. I honestly don't think you can fall asleep while you're moving. Like it probably is impossible.
Um,
I
I
feel like
mean,
I've
you
done
can
it before.
faint, but I don't think not the same
That's
as
not
sleeping.
sleeping. That's just unconsciousness. But
I think I've almost done it before, like very close. At least recently, by recently I mean yesterday. I was pretty tired getting home from school, a long week. Sorry, yeah, getting home from school. That's grammar. And so my friend wanted to hang out, and I was feeling it. I was pretty sleepy, and so like I was sitting down on that couch over there. Actually, I'm looking at it. I texted him, "I'm tired." Then I closed my eyes and I woke up at 2 a.m.
I mean, you're on the couch. So like you probably weren't moving.
I wasn't really moving, but I feel like I've been pretty close to breaking that.
I don't think you can fall asleep while you're like walking or something like that. Like,
Now a sleepwalking, but that's not falling asleep.
well,
That's like
you
Uh,
fall
altered.
asleep first and then you start walking. That's different.
but what about like narcolepsy?
What's that?
Medical.
No,
That's not
that,
something I have.
so narcolepsy. I just want to look this up so I'm sure I'm not really stupid. I'm getting
I mean, I know
narcolepsy.
necrosis. I don't know what narcolepsy is though.
Necrosis.
Yeah, yeah. So narcolepsy, it's just you. It's mainly defined by people like falling asleep randomly. Like they can be doing yoga or something and they'll just collapse on the ground to sleep.
Uh,
I have no
so
idea.
I'm gonna be doing Krieger numbers, right? And then we're just trying to do that, trying to like do the bouncing on like one foot, and then falling asleep.
Timber. You do the Baumstellen, and then you just fall asleep,
Oh,
and someone
sure.
yells timber. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's crazy because you'd be awake one moment and then the next you'd be completely passed out. Then you
Just
wake up like a minute later. Like, what happened? What happened?
I
You
think it's
should
just
not be driving.
microsleep.
That's
You know what?
that's microsleep, but like all the time. I think.
I don't know. Isn't? Oh
If
yeah, it
anybody,
lasts for like a few seconds, doesn't it?
the next time I fall asleep in class, like if I fall asleep ever in econ, I'll just say narcolepsy and go away.
Last time I fell asleep in class, when was that? Yesterday. Yeah.
Yesterday for me too.
I mean, I don't think it was really counts if in class if it's during guide study, but
Oh, that doesn't
That
count. That
that
doesn't
does
count at
not
doesn't
all.
count.
count. No,
Nope.
okay.
Nope.
It's been a while then.
I respect
Assuming.
Mr. Johnson, but it's been my issue for a while. Fourth period puts me to sleep.
I mean, you fell asleep
It's
during
always
Mr. Johnson's class?
well, it's always fourth period for me, and Mr. Johnson happens to fall in fourth period.
Is it
I
because his
think
class is boring?
it's
No,
not
no,
because
it's
it's
just
because it's like it's
it's like
fourth period. Sometimes it's a time,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's time cycles.
and
It's
also
because
he's following AP Psych rules or AP Lit. I don't know.
I
Whatever
think
you
it was
well,
do,
lit.
whatever voodoo you do.
I'm almost positive that it's like time cycles because
Probably.
you go in 1.5 hour time cycles, right? And so if I wake up at 6:30, at 9:30, I'm falling asleep because it's 3 hours later. One and
No,
a half
there's
hours.
to dictate when you fall asleep, I forgot what the chemical is called. So the moment you wake up, the chemical is like at its lowest because when you go to sleep, the chemical just like gets away from your body. But when you wake up, it starts your body starts to
Start building.
secrete the chemical, and then
Uh huh.
you reach a certain threshold, and then you feel sleepy,
Uh,
and then once
yeah.
you
So like the
sleep, that
sleep
goes away.
pressure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know how that I don't know what the chemical is called exactly.
Uh, I don't know, but that makes sense
It's not
because like
cortisol. That's the stress chemical.
cortisol, cortisol. It's good for cortisol is actually pretty good for like anti-itch
Yeah, but it's like also
because
makes you feel sleepy,
hydrocortisone.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
And what's the chemical that's released when you're stressed? It doesn't make you feel stressed.
That's adrenaline.
No adrenaline. Eh,
Wait.
do you get
No, that's
adrenaline
kind
when
of
you're
stress.
stressed? I don't think you
No,
get
that
adrenaline
that
when you're
that'd be
stressed.
bad.
No.
I think
Yeah, I
you
believe
do.
you get that.
Cortisol is a stress hormone. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't know what
Sure.
cortisol does exactly to your body, but I want to say it kind of
Um.
dunks on your hormones. I
I
don't know.
would say dunk, but like it definitely one
Suppresses.
of the major thing. It's immunosuppressive, so like it reduces the immune system,
Hmm.
which is good when you're like applying it to like somewhere that's like inflamed because that's
Hmm.
our immune system. It's bad when you want to not become sick.
So like, yeah, don't get stressed all the time.
I guess that explains why
GSMST.
hydrocortisone cream exists to stop itchy.
Yeah.
Hmm. So I'm interested into like the what's it called? The like hormone study of hormones or
Uh,
whatever.
yeah. Endocrinology and like
I'm interested
neurotransmitters.
in it, but like it's so deep. It's so hard to get into. Like it's just so
Mhm.
much. Like I
Like
know.
medical is so interesting, but I do not
Yeah.
want to do med school.
Well, I'm not. Hell no, I'm not gonna do med school. But like I know a good bit about like hair loss just because yeah, I've done a bit of research and I know
Mhm.
how it kind of works and how you want to prevent it. TLDR, just take dutasteride or finasteride if you want to prevent hair loss.
Don't
Really,
have testosterone.
basically, I mean, don't I mean testosterone's fine. You don't want dihydrous testosterone. It's a different
No.
thing, but
Eat soy.
you want to dunk your DHT so you don't lose your hair, but don't dunk your DHT when you're a teenager because DHT causes everything to happen, like all
Yeah.
male characteristics to grow. And DHT is dihydrous testosterone. But once you stop growing, then you can probably dunk it. And I don't think there's anything. Well, I mean, different people react different ways, so there's no telling
Yeah.
what's going to happen to you. But there are people. Some people literally have no change when they have their DHT dunked, while some other people it could be life-threatening. But who knows?
Yeah.
And to dunk your DHT, just block the breakdown of testosterone into DHT, which goes through the 5-alpha reductase. So just inhibit 5-AR, and that's how you dunk your DHT.
I might look into that honestly because I also heard that anybody that has a beard tends to go bald because beard is related to testosterone as well. And
Weird.
There's like
I
there's a chemical that starts with an M. I forgot what it's called. It's like mitosis. No, it's not mitosis. It's like
There's too many to count. Just keep going.
Yeah.
No, okay, so it's just this chemical, if you just apply it to anywhere, literally anywhere, it doesn't even
Mhm.
have to be a place where you're already growing hair, then you'll just grow hair pretty fast. But that hair is reliant on you applying that chemical. So if you stop applying that
Nah.
chemical,
Yeah.
then it just goes away. So like some people put that stuff on their beard just to have a thicker beard,
Oh,
and you can do
that
it,
is.
and you can do it on your hair. But like, as soon as you stop doing it, that's just all gonna fall out within like a month. So
Crazy.
if you want a thick
Yeah.
beard, just do that.
Um, have you guys heard that if you ask that sorry, your mom's father, so your maternal grandfather, if they were bald, you're likely to be bald?
I haven't heard that, but
I mean,
I think I don't know. I think I'm like for me, I'm getting a bit like I think I'm concerned about my hair because like my dad's like what 50 and he's already like 80%
yeah,
loss of
I
hair.
mean,
So like,
you're not gonna
it,
notice your balding until you lose like 20%, 20 to 30% of your hair. So
mhm.
if visually, that's like a major concern. But and then the thing is though, like I don't think balding's that much of a concern as long as you have money, because like just
That's all
dunk your
yes, that money.
DHT is basically all it is.
Uh,
Like dunk your DHT and you're probably not gonna go bald unless you're a hyper responder to testosterone and just androgens in general. Because the thing I don't know if people know exactly how bonding works, but generally, the more androgens, which are
yeah.
testosterone-based hormones, you have in your body, the faster and more likely you're going to have for hair loss. Which, so if you just limit the amount of androgen activity, at least localized into your scalp, which there's a big debate going on over, like if you can suppress DHT locally within your scalp, or do you need to do it throughout your entire body? Which I don't know the answer to that. I'm pretty sure if you just did enough research, you could probably figure it out. I think you have to do it systematically, but I think don't take my word on that. But just, yeah, the main thing is just don't have as much androgenic activity as you did when you're a teenager in your like 20s and 30s, and you'll probably be fine.
So like it's really funny that you're talking about this because then there's all those people who are selling those. Hey, you need to have high testosterone as like an adult and whatever, and it's
DHT
like
is
those
not
supplements.
testosterone, so like you can have high testosterone while you also have no DHT. In fact, if you so testosterone breaks down into either estrogen or dihydrous testosterone,
Mhm,
whichever enzyme it goes through. If it goes through 5-AR, it goes to dihydrous. If it goes, oh, it's the enzyme starts with an A. I don't know
But
exactly what the enzyme is called, but if it goes through there, then it turns into estrogen. What'd you say, Alex?
mhm.
I was just saying, who knows? Because chemical names are weird.
Yeah, it's. I'm
Especially like the
I'm hating
like the
myself for
human
not knowing this.
chemicals.
I'm hating myself for not knowing this because it's so it's so common. But okay, but so can I break into those two? So therefore, if you completely inhibit the breakdown of testosterone into DHT, which is basically half of what your testosterone breaks down into, well not half, but like you know what I'm saying, then you're actually going to increase your testosterone because the testosterone can't break down.
Oh,
So
okay,
your
that
like
makes
total
yeah.
testosterone is going to increase, but your DHT is going to like plummet.
Mhm.
And I think depending on how many androgen enzymes you have, your estrogen may also go up, but that's not guaranteed. So yeah, if you block 5-AR, then your testosterone is going to go up 10 to 20%. But yeah, I mean you can have high test. Basically, what I'm trying to say is you can have high testosterone while you have no DHT and still have hair.
You probably will if you have no THD or
Yeah,
DHD.
yeah, you will. Well, you won't. You would have higher, but not high, because I've seen some things like the average amount of testosterone is like 200 to like 800
Yeah.
deciliters.
That is
It's
a large range.
it's deciliters per nanogram, I think is the unit. Yeah,
No,
deciliters per
other way
nanogram.
That's
around.
way to like
Nanograms per
Nanogram per
deciliter. Yeah, you're right. Nanograms per deciliter.
and that's nanograms of testosterone per deciliter of blood.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, 200 is really low to be considered average. Like, literally, women, they generally have like 10 to 40. So you're like, well, like, guys, I think, like, are supposed to have like probably at least 600, maybe even 700 or 800. Like, you're supposed to be up there, but like, having 200 be considered average is like, that's like, I want to say, I'm not, I mean, maybe hermaphrodite territory. Like, I don't know.
think that would be that territory because that's mainly just that's during like development in like when it's like a fetal development, right?
Hmm.
That's when that stuff happens, and then like when the androgens, I think when the androgens, that's where it's a differentiation because if you're uh most of the time if it's like even if it's XX, you're gonna get like the blast of estrogen, and then XY you'll get some of those androgens which start the differentiation. But like I don't know like too much about like levels, but like I know that human variation is like stupid. So like you'll find like you'll find like you'll find women with like relative like high testosterone levels like 150, 200, and they might fail like I think there's some controversy like they failed like some tests because they had high testosterone even though just naturally like they just had it,
I don't
and
know.
like
I mean, I don't. I'm ignorant on the subject of like what's like up there for women, but I'm pretty sure it'll be really unlucky if you're a woman and had 100, 150 nanogram per deciliter
I
testosterone.
I
I
remember
agree.
hearing something about that in
I don't even think
anatomy.
that's possible.
I agree with Thomas somewhat
Like you're
because I
probably
know
taking PEDs if you're at that
it's
level.
it's like I don't know what the variance is, natural variance, but I know that natural like averages for women are very low compared to that's like you said 20 to 40-ish.
The thing is,
Okay.
I heard somewhere that like even then, even that women still have like just the amount they still have more testosterone molecules than they do estrogen molecules. And that's just because like
Really?
estrogen apparently estrogen is just really potent. Probably do some googling on that. I just heard that from like a YouTube short and like it's maybe not true. So yeah, I don't know if that's true.
Okay, yeah. So the numbers I said were probably like those are like definitely outliers
Yeah.
because average testosterone range if you're like 17, 18, it's like 20 to 75 for
Yeah, so
women.
it's okay, I said like 10 to
If you're
40, so
17 to 18 for men according to this website 300 to 1200.
oh,
But like
300
that's
to 12. That's what I was saying like
so it's like it's more also it's like more developmental. So like
hmm. And the thing
it might
is,
yeah.
your testosterone is not just based on your genetics. Like, what you do significantly impacts your hormones.
Mhm.
The number one biggest hormone killer of testosterone is not getting enough sleep. It is if you
Let's
only
go.
sleep like 4, 5, 6 hours a day, like your hormones are gonna be tanked. Like, it's incredible. Like, the sleep is the number one PED that's not a PED. Like, it's incredible what sleep can do. So that's
Exactly.
why I try to get 8 hours
That's
of
why
sleep.
GSMST, the home of.
Low
The home of
testosterone.
very oh that has like multiple applications.
I mean,
But like,
it's true though. Like,
It
it
is
makes
true.
sense because like you don't really hear all like those like those gurus about who are like all about like upping your levels or whatever. Yeah, like, sleep like they kind of brush on that, but like they're like, okay, take the supplement,
no,
take the supplement.
supplements
You
won't do it.
supplement by helping your body by sleeping.
Supplement is melatonin, otherwise it's a
Uh,
scam.
I mean,
You don't
even
want to do
then,
too.
melatonin
Yeah.
induced sleep is not as good as natural sleep.
Hmm.
So, like, you
It
don't want to
doesn't
rely
hit.
on melatonin. So, you want to rely. What's this? What's the sleep cycle called? It's like,
Circadian rhythm.
yes, you want to rely on your circadian rhythm, and if I mean, you can change it. So if you, but like, I
Hmm.
wouldn't rely on melatonin to go to sleep unless you absolutely need to. And
I
don't
feel
forget,
bad for the people who do night shift though, because like their circadian rhythms are like completely cooked.
I mean, as long as you get sleep, it doesn't really matter when you sleep. As long as like you don't get natural daylight and where you're sleeping from, because natural daylight's of course gonna wake you up. And like if you sleep when it's like light outside, then you're not gonna get as good enough sleep as you would otherwise. So and then
I feel like
also, secondly,
I
for
feel like so much
testosterone,
of the oh sorry,
keep
you
going.
got more important stuff.
I got infinite amount of wisdom, bro.
Well, I was just gonna add on to that more, and I was just gonna say that I feel like a lot of what goes into your sleep is your environment. If you have a bad environment, you're not gonna sleep. And
Yeah,
that's not even just that, if you sleep on a bad bed, you're gonna sleep worse. I mean, like,
no,
if you
just
had
like
a bad,
how cold your environment is, and like,
yeah, well,
is it
not even that,
quiet?
but like,
It does it have noise? Like, how is it?
no, like while I was at GHP, my sleep was amazing compared to at home with GSMST and stuff. Because at GHP, everything was different. Everything was just a lot better in general.
Hmm.
There's all kinds of there's just like Okay, so first of all, I'm just not a morning person. Like,
Yeah,
waking up at 6:30 kills me. That's just how it is, and it's not. It's absolutely not natural. If I was sleeping anywhere else, I would. Ryan's gone. But if I was sleeping under any other conditions, it would not be 6:30 wake up time.
yeah,
At GHP, I woke up at like 7:45, 7:30, and I was feeling great. Like I know that even later that would probably boost me even more. But even just 7:30, 7:45, that was wonderful, and I could do that on the weekend somewhat too. Um, and just in general, the classes there are better. The atmosphere is nicer. Just more. What's the word I'm thinking of? The R word. That's good for you. Whatever. Um,
rest.
no, not rest, but more attractions, basically, more activities to do.
Hmm.
And oh, Ryan's on fire. All that put together, I slept wonderful at night. It was
I
just a great
understand. Yeah,
environment
it's I
as
think the
compared to
problem with the
GSMST.
modern like this is the modern world is we value like the modern world values waking up early so bad. Like so people with like naturally like if they wake up at like 11, 12, like in the afternoon just naturally they basically have to function like zombies in order to like participate in a modern world. Like not everyone is supposed to naturally wake up at 6. There's a reason why people don't have the same circadian rhythm. It's because like you can't have everyone be sleeping at once. Otherwise, a little I don't know predator is gonna be able to get like to wipe out an entire population. So you want to have like evolutionary. Okay, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You don't want to have everyone asleep at once, basically. So
I mean, my natural wake up time is probably like 9 a.m. ish, but that's just never going to happen,
mine's
right?
like
Like,
7ish. So I'm decently close to like when I actually wake
uh,
up.
it's like I swear, it's all those people that are saying you got to wake up earlier than everybody else. Early bird gets the worm, guys. Early bird gets the worm. There's no worms. This is modern society. You can have any amount of worms pumped out at the same
I
time.
mean,
It's fine.
going to the gym at 2 a.m. hits different, but yeah.
I'm sure it
Working
does.
out, working out at 2 a.m. is just like the best. It's either the best or worst feeling, and so far I've had pretty good experience with it. But
Yeah, it's like, you always feel more proactive at that time. Like you're always about to change your life around. Like start
oh my
investing, start
lord,
learning the new content, start. Oh man, everything at 2 a.m. and then you fall asleep,
yeah, there's
and
some
then you never
weird
do it again
midnight
for another like.
motivation. Yeah,
Oh yeah, then you don't do it again for another 2 months.
yeah. But another thing about testosterone, like how to increase it naturally, don't have a sedentary lifestyle. Like so many people, especially at GSMST, have a sedentary lifestyle. They don't do anything with their body, at least like on a regular basis. Like it's just go to school, study, eat, whatever, blah blah blah, and they don't like move your body. Your body is meant to be moved. Your body is meant to like move like miles and miles and miles. And like when you deprave it of that, it's just gonna your body wants to save energy. So like if it doesn't need to do anything, it won't. And like if your body doesn't need testosterone to repair itself, it's gonna produce less of it. I'm pretty sure that's why. But basically, if you have a sedentary lifestyle, your testosterone's also gonna tank. And those are the two main things. You want to be active and you want to get enough sleep, and your
Yeah,
testosterone's generally gonna be where the peak is at.
yeah. Now that you mentioned that, it made me realize that's another thing that GHP did. You had to walk to your classes, and this is a college campus, so there was no slouch of a walk. You had to walk like a good 5 6 miles a day, all for classes alone, right?
Yeah,
And activities
like
were all over the place too.
I have no
I
understanding how much
remember
a mile is.
I just like 11 p.m. as soon as like lights out, I would be like dead asleep. When it, when I wanted to wake, I'd wake up with the alarm and like it just like it's like the most peaceful sleep you'll ever get. Like when you like after like a long day, you're just tired. Like that sleep when you don't need to think. It's head empty, so like you're just your body just cooking, you know.
That's just
Oh
my
yeah.
body on every day I work out, man. I'm just dead asleep at like 10, 10:30. I'm just wake up 7ish.
Something I should
Oh,
get.
You know, there's there's all kinds of ways we can apply this and make something like GSMSC better. Of course, none of it is going to
Mhm.
go through, especially with the new scheduling options, which
include
that's going to be,
academics into the school, please.
we're going to talk about scheduling options on the next
Uh,
podcast. We got to talk about that because
yeah.
it's a disaster.
Yeah,
But
the funny thing is, like, since I'm a hater, I decided to like do the worst options possible on the survey because I'm not going to be here next year. So
Oh my lord.
You are like, oh my, you were sabotaging like future doctors and lawyers. Do you understand what you're doing? Do you understand the ramifications of what you were doing, sir?
Don't get hurt, because all the
they're not
doctors in the future are gonna be
they're
cheering
not
you
gonna
on.
take my thing seriously. So
No,
because
it's like
I'm a
100%.
contrary.
No, I mean 100%. I'm just going to look at the results and discard them regardless of what happens. They're ever
Probably
going to
so.
say
Yeah.
like everybody was influenced by people like by the
Yeah.
seniors and by the teachers, and they're going to disregard it, or they're going to say, "You guys all agreed with us. We're going to do it."
No.
I
But
wouldn't
It's
want to
funny
say
though
that.
because like it's basically GCPS. Like you're just going in line with like basically everyone GCPS except for a few schools,
I think
the
the
block or
admin at
whatever.
GSMST generally wants the students to succeed, so they're probably gonna look at
Mhm.
it, but at the end of the day, like, yeah, it's gonna be their
Mhm.
biases and like what they want to do that's gonna prevail over like what the students want to do. I
what's
believe.
Although
messed
I
up?
think this year is a bit different because like you see this year's is like with Mr. Bray gone, like the new principal is much more open to like actually
Yeah.
doing change. Because Mr. Bray, we had the infamous culling of the clubs,
And then we
and
started to get
and
that
then
back.
and now some of the clubs like the MSA and like
Black Student
BSU,
Union,
those are back,
Yeah.
Black Student
and
Union.
yeah,
So
like the cultural clubs are back, and I honestly I don't know why he asked them. Well, I kind of I know why, but
to improve your academics, because you can't focus on anything other than academics if you had GSMST.
Believe it or
Of
not, there's
course.
a Supreme Court case that he violated by doing that.
and also
You're not
I'm
allowed.
pretty sure Mr. Bray's kind of
Yeah, okay, we won't finish the sentence.
yeah.
I mean,
And
I have
he's a
absolutely
very
no clue what you're
disciplined man.
saying,
Yep,
um,
very white Southern man.
I mean, GSMSC just it needs more athletics and it just needs like
Mhm.
less of a stringent focus on academics. Like, I
I,
understand it's
I
an academic
see.
school, but
Honestly, I see that. I think I feel that like it's gonna change definitely much more. Like
hmm
I feel it getting softer, but that's not actually a bad thing, really, because like
Thing.
it getting softer is making it better for people. Like
This
when
is
we
a
came to
very
GSMC, it was easier than previous generations where
yeah.
they had like A push notes that they were terrified about, and then I didn't even take those in A push.
Yeah, that's the
it's like
thing.
it's like being softer isn't a bad thing. It's because something like just even natural attention spans, no one is going to sit and pay attention for the entirety of a period. You need stuff like breaks. You need
Mhm.
a decent lunch. You need guided study.
I wouldn't say you should be softer or anything like that. You just need to like have the most
Well,
cultivating environment, and
Yeah, yeah, but that like it's like softer as in like like how those people that back in the old days that kind of thing.
because like
But
sometimes life can't be soft, and like you need that challenge to like, because especially in high school, you need to go through hardships and challenges to build your character and like understand like how to get through hardships. Otherwise, you're just gonna be an adult who can't do anything that requires any remote difficulty, you know?
I
Like,
agree with you, and I think a good way to summarize it is that GSMST itself should not be a hardship.
facts, like it feels like compared to like other schools where like I know people would like they get like second third chances on their home schoolwork if they literally decide to ask, and then that's why they never like tank or anything if they actually feel like getting a good grade. Meanwhile, GSMST they're like they're the strictest school in
I mean,
the county, and like they like a few teachers give like second chances. Shout out econ kind of,
I
but
don't
like
believe in undeserved second chances though. Like, if you're doing something, you gotta do it right, and you
I
can't
agree with
rely
yeah
on second changes, because that's
I agree
just
with
how
that
the real
yeah.
world works.
But like it feels like GSM compared to like every other school in the county, it's like giving students in GSMC even more of a disadvantage
It's not a
because
disadvantage. It's an
no with
advantage.
like in terms of like college because college is
I mean, well, yeah,
so stupidly competitive as is,
yeah. Okay,
and
I see what
like
you're saying. Like long term, it's an
and yeah,
advantage. I believe.
long term disadvantage, but it's like feel GSME almost feels like college. Like
It is.
they don't fight like they don't quite don't care as much about you, but like it's much less than if you're like one like a smart kid out of regular high school or whatever because
hmm
you're not really a dime a dozen, and the teachers they'll actually try to like work with you more.
Yeah.
And when I was talking about breaks earlier, having, implementing those more and more, I thought of one concrete example that I would be very for, and that's having Fridays be digital learning days. And what I mean by that is,
Paul
so have you
Duke.
guys? Yeah, Paul Duke, the Paul Duke days. It benefits
Are
them
you
like
trying to take
crazy.
away
And
my walk from home, sir?
Yeah.
what was
No,
that?
and also, if you want to go to
Oh,
school, like you can go to school, you can go to a teacher, work on stuff, go to clubs. Like my brother, he goes to Paul Duke, and like he's living the life.
Oh yeah, like if anything, Paul Duke Fridays that can be like the gay day. That can be the day where everybody's active, right? Like you go to school and you do sports or something crazy
I mean,
because
yeah,
because it's digital learning anyway. It's basically an open campus. It could be at least.
that's never happening though. Like
Nope,
for
never.
public schools, yeah.
I mean, like Paul Duke it happened, and I heard rumors that the teachers they requested it, and I don't know who shut them down, whether it's the admin or the county, but it was immediate no.
Is Paul Duke a community, like public college or private?
It's a public school. It's one of the themed high schools. Like
Oh, it's a high
so,
school?
yeah, it's a high
I thought it was
school,
a
and it's
college.
like
Okay.
it was meant to like divert like people from Norcross because overcrowding. But
Mm.
now we have like 75 different theme high schools in Gwinnett. We have Seckinger, which is an AI high school. I don't know what that means.
I mean, I don't know. Just, I've education just failing just in County. Like
Oh yeah,
the amount of
it it could be
tomfoolery
better.
that's happening in high schools, just to say. Like,
And this is one of the better counties in the state. Like,
yeah.
if you look at like, if you like, for example, Atlanta public schools.
Yes. Soon, yeah.
Else that works better than what we have. Cause like
And
it's not like
it's not IB though, because IB I'm not a fan of that because it's a lot of because it's kind of a pain.
Pain is gain, brother.
No pain, no gain.
Oh God.
with that. You guys want to call it no pain no gain?
Taki,
No pain.
yeah, we can. With that
All
said,
right, well, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys.
mm-hmm.
See you soon.
Peace.